Breathe. Get the idea?
Whoa.
That's me. There, that was him.
Oh my gosh. Like, oh my gosh.
Right, it's this guy.
Holy crap. That's crazy. Oh.
They say like it's brighter, like I don't know how to describe it, but like the
Waking up your nervous
tension,
system.
yeah, the tension off my head is it's incredible.
5-6 years ago, you had a head-on, no helmet.
Head-on collision, 40 miles an hour. I fractured my eye socket. It was actually the side. I had 16 stitches in my eye and fractured my face.
This injury happens 5 years ago. I know you said you currently have some numbness. You said which arm is it again?
It's my right hand, my
So-
right arm.
When did that start? Give me the specifics of when that started developing.
Probably 2 years ago now. And like I said, when I was starting to do the massage, that helped keep it at bay. But since I've not been able to do that, and with just work, it's just nonstop getting used. So I'm at the point now where I wake up 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning every day. My hand is entirely numb.
Is it numb right now?
It's not.
Okay.
But
so
it takes an hour to 2 hours sometimes to stretch it out in the morning.
Okay.
And like to even put your hand flat on the table,
Yes.
no pain, extremely painful.
Right.
So I've already noticed a lot of things that are great on this side and are getting worse on this side.
Can you be more specific? Where is it? Thumb, index, middle finger,
So
pinky finger? What-
it's mostly my ring finger and my middle finger.
Okay.
However, it'll be most painful kind of in this joint, but it's actually starting to go up the side of my index finger now.
Okay.
To the point where it's so painful it just hurts to touch it on things.
Right. It's the C7 dermatome, so they call this the 6-shooter. C6 is this guy. C7 is the middle finger, and a little bit of the ring, a little bit of the index. So it's the C7 nerve that is interacted by the C6 disc. So one of these discs in your spinal column, most likely the C6 disc is bulging out. The MRI we talked about a little bit. That would be
Right.
the way we can
Verify it.
quantify it and see how big it is. The disc is the structure that I'm talking about that has no feeling. That when we have an injury to it, we don't know that it's injured, and as a process, as it starts to bulge out of place, going towards the nerve, there's no feeling until we start interacting and actually make contact. Similar to a tooth you have a cavity forming, and until it finally hits the nerve root, there's no awareness of it, and then
Right.
all of a sudden that tooth is killing me. Same way with the disc, the nerve is getting pressure on it by the disc that's bulging out. It's really the only thing at your age that would be causing that, and the mechanicalness of your injuries in your history indicate that. So the best way, X-ray is silly, because in terms of seeing the disc, they're invisible on X-ray.
Right,
The only way to
tissue,
really
right.
see the disc, we have to take an MRI, allows us to see the disc, see where it is. The discs are made of 70-80% water, so as they get injured, they can tear through the wrapping that holds them where they're supposed to be. They sort of bulge out towards where the nerve is. More specifically, it takes years. There must have been an injury even back in your teenage years that allowed this motorcycle accident to be the thing that then
Pushed it over the edge.
pushed it over the edge, and now it's finally reached the nerve. Headaches, how often do you have headaches?
I've dealt with headaches my whole life. It's hereditary. Had them through middle school really bad. Got better as I've gotten older.
Mhm.
Eating less sugar and stuff like that, my diet's really helped that. But I still just get, most of the time now when I do get a headache, I've realized that it's tension, and I can massage it through my jaw or my base of my skull, and I can actually get it to go away.
And even if somebody said it's hereditary, I don't know if it's bad posture is common. You're
Right.
right. It's like if my dad's car's got door dents, my car's gonna have to have door dents. It's
Right.
like, well, no, it's still how you treated the car. Common and normal have become synonymous, and they're not synonymous words. You're right. Common, we mentioned earlier, I have no curve in my neck, right? So that's a problem. And so how do we actually restore it? And it's something like less than 5% of chiropractors are interested in changing x-rays and getting the curve back to your spine. Adjustments, massage, lasers are not going to put a curve in your neck.
Right.
And so everything I do today is targeted towards making your spine ready to be molded back into the curve position.
I actually went and saw the
Yeah.
rotator cuff specialist, tennis elbow, whatever, here in town. Saw them. It took them, this was mid-COVID, which made it harder, but it took them I believe I had 2 MRIs there, so I need to look.
Of your rotator cuff?
To make sure, because it was so painful to the point where I thought I tore my bicep. I had so much pain So I went and got looked at. They told me based off my pressure input that nothing was torn, that something obviously was just up. Well, it took them 6 months and 2 MRIs to tell me I had tennis elbow. And so what they actually had me sling my arm, which actually made it worse because it atrophied.
What symptoms did you have when you were talking to this? Was it orthopedic?
Yeah.
What symptoms were you having that? What did you tell them? The numbness,
I told him I was having some numbness, and I had such shooting pains that I thought I tore my bicep. Like I had that much sharp pain within my arm.
That doesn't make any sense for tennis elbow specifically. I mean,
Right.
that's radiculitis, we call that. This
Right.
neuritis to radiculitis. Shooting pain is the nerve.
Right.
If I whack my funny bone, I feel something shoot down my fingers. It's not a
Right.
tendon. It's not an attachment. That's a nerve pressure. Tennis elbow specifically, we have two.
Yeah.
So tennis elbow would be lateral epicondylitis.
Which I still have that.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
and you might
Right.
have that too, but I'm saying
Right.
the symptoms you
Describe.
aren't that.
Right.
It would be pain right on this spot here. How?
Yeah, I feel it. Yeah,
Alright.
it's probably one of the more prominent
How's
spots.
this guy?
No pain.
Okay, so we got. We'll work
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
This won't self-resolve. You have to
Right.
mash this down. These are
Right.
the extensor muscles of your forearm. All go and attach here on the lateral epicondyle. We need to massage the forearm, work it towards the elbow, compress down the attachment. The overlap here is that this nerve that comes from your neck that's upset controls these muscles.
Oh,
So these muscles can be contracted not meaningfully, meaning you're not trying to contract
Right.
them, but because there's a nerve pressure, these muscles are contracted, which is keeping a constant pull, inflammation of the attachment. And so rubbing the muscles and compressing the attachment is all silly if we don't identify and treat
problem.
the original problem, which is
Right.
the nerve in the neck. The disc, this is a more simplistic model for, the annulus tears, and then that allows the disc to start protruding out.
okay.
There's a hole called the intervertebral foramen. So the disc supports open this hole here, which is made up of half a semicircle that comes from the temple bone above, half from the bone above and below, make that hole. So when the disc starts to protrude out, not only do you get narrowing of the foramen, right, top to bottom, but you also start getting,
Pinch.
right,
Yeah.
the space is being occupied. We call it a space occupying lesion. There's too much pressure on the front part that's caught, so the discs almost all the time bulge posteriorly towards the back because the anterior part is so squeezed. So the cervical curve aims to depressurize the front, thereby reducing the movement of the disc posteriorly towards the back, towards this nerve. Gotta have a curve in your neck.
Yeah, no, see how critical the nerve is now.
It's
More critical than I thought.
This is, like I said, another way of showing it in the lumbar. Same idea. The disc is bulging out, hitting the wires, and you can be 1 millimeter away and having the greatest day of your life, and then can't move. Right there.
Yeah.
There is no. It's like a on-off switch of a light. There's
Yes.
until you finally
Hit it,
reach that
right.
threshold. There isn't any awareness. Yeah, you're definitely.
Hanging right.
Yeah,
Feels like.
yeah. See what's going on. Actually, you're not too crooked. Left hip's a little high, left shoulder's a little high. You're getting away from this right side. You're trying to.
Just standing here, I can feel it.
Yeah.
All right through that right side.
I want you to just slowly look up towards the ceiling for me. Yeah. All right. Look straight forward again for me. Any pain when you do that?
No, like I said, I can feel it on the right
Feel on
side.
the right side. A lot of chiropractors believe that the bone is subluxated and therefore needs to be adjusted. I believe that it hurts and therefore becomes subluxated. I believe the exact opposite. They say the bone's crooked and therefore we need to adjust the lower neck to get it back in position. I believe, no, you've injured it and that's what made it crooked.
Right.
Right. So by adjusting specifically the lower neck, all you do is further irritate the injury. My father was injured by that kind of chiropractic, so it's personal. It's like,
Right.
I have been taught since 12 years old to not adjust certain areas because that kind of care hasn't helped my family, and I haven't seen it be beneficial in my practice.
Right.
One of the humbling things is that when you're first being a young chiropractor, I was working with my father, and I had certain people with very injured lower necks, and I would do my best to adjust the upper neck to take the stress off the lower neck. But a little bit of extra movement would happen in the lower neck, not intentional, but the patient would, ow! And of course my dad would adjust the person, they didn't have any, problems, and
Yeah.
I guess I'll just sit over here. Right, it's very demoralizing. It's
Right.
like, well, and so I knew I made it when I could work on those people and they didn't.
Have the pain.
Right. Can you loosen this without upsetting this? And that is the skill of the adjustment. We are trying to adjust, we're trying to change the movement point to an area that isn't injured. It's like you have all these teeth that are brand new over here, but you keep chewing on these teeth and you've worn out these teeth, and we need to transfer the stress, balance it over a larger area. Your mechanics are off, wherein that about 20% of the spine is doing 99% of the work. And that's where nobody's talking about it, and posture is the heading that creates all this. Look straight forward here. We're doing about an inch forward for your heads forward. And then like I said, you look more military neck than anything, the loss of curve. You don't have too much forward head posture, but the loss of curve is creating this ladder effect where all the weight gets transferred to the lower neck. And we're going to loosen the upper neck, and we'll show you that curve. Take a deep breath in. This is bend the knees for me. I'm just going to go through your spine, see how many parts are working.
Okay.
Deep breath in, real easy. Now, totally frozen. Exhale. Wow, okay. Exhale. Okay.
Yeah, I'm tight.
It's okay. If it moved beautifully, I'd be confused. Okay.
Right.
Your middle back is supposed to be flexible.
Right.
And flat. You're supposed to have some suppleness in here, and you got it completely
Flat.
locked.
Oh,
It's all locked.
I felt it when you did the lower.
Yeah.
It is just like a brick
It's
wall.
a brick wall in there.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna lead. We're gonna have lower back disc injuries too. Now they might be brewing. The sciatica type things.
Well, I've had sciatica. Yeah.
Okay,
My
so
my left side.
it's already here then.
Yeah.
My point is that this is not good, and I'm sorry our world has not guided you in let's not let this progress further.
Right.
But we have to be clear that resistance in your middle back is the problem.
Yeah.
No, it's down here, Ed. I know, but
Yeah.
you're not moving here.
Right.
And that's what's making you
Upset that lower.
damage your lower back. And everybody
Right.
is so focused on, they're so zoomed in to
Where
the lower
pain-
back
Yeah.
that we lose sight of this.
Right.
Like I can't see anything else.
Right.
And again, that's where I was a kid and I was working on my dad up in his middle back, because my dad has lived with sciatica. He's had chiropractors go in there and manipulate his lower back, making him worse.
Right.
And me watching my dad as a teenager, how can I help you, Dad?
Yeah.
And it was all worked on that middle back. Yeah, wow. Yeah, okay, all right, let's have
Very tight.
Yeah. You need to be careful with this adjustment. I'm examining here, but it's very easy for the loosest part to do the most motion, right?
Right.
I am trying to loosen your SI joint,
Right.
and the SI joint and your middle back working is necessary to take the stress off your lower back.
Right.
Can you, Dr. Ed, loosen my SI joint without moving my lower back? It's not happening.
Right.
Now, I could body slam harder and maybe move your lower back, which I have no intention of doing.
Right.
So that's the technique here. We're trying to loosen above and below here. There we go, a little bit. Exhale. There we go. All right, so left hip.
Yeah, I felt
Face
that
up.
hip. Wow.
Face up. I mean, just laying down. Just like relax. I mean,
I'm
I am relaxed.
That's relaxed.
Right.
No,
I mean, there's just talk about it.
So much tension.
Right. Like there's just contraction everywhere. Your SCMs, your sternocleidomastoid muscle here is, just total contraction here, and there's no gravity.
Right.
Everything's in guard mode, and we'll see that change as we go through your visit here. But you can just feel that tension everywhere in your SCMs. There we go. Easy, bud. I got you. Real gentle. Easy. Okay. All right. You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This left upper lock is the most responsible for right abuse.
Right.
The opposite upper is responsible for the opposite lower. You understand?
Yeah. So I've been rubbing the wrong side of my neck the whole time.
This is the abuse side.
Right.
Now the upper neck is still responsible, but the most responsible vertebrae, for the most abused area, who's the stiffest area, right?
Mhm.
Who's the opposite? Who's the biggest slacker?
Yeah.
The biggest slacker is actually your left upper, which accounts for why the right lower is the most stressed out. Your head won't tilt left here. There we go. Okay.
Barely even touched and
Yeah.
let go.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, my vision just got brighter. It's like all the stress off of everything.
Yeah, right there. Wow, it's right here. There. It's an inability. So your head, if I let go of the steering wheel of the car is drifting to the right.
Right.
you're not tracking straight.
Mm-hmm.
Your neck doesn't want to tilt left as easily as it likes to tilt right, which is why you're grinding the right lower part. You got some crunchy in here too. This is all, feel that kind of graininess.
Oh yeah.
None of that is normal. None of that is.
Oh, that's good.
It's like the algae in the AC lines. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, I was a fabricator for a couple of years, and I was a traveling trim carpenter for about 7 years.
Yep.
So just nonstop weird positions, swinging a hammer, holding a TIG torch.
Right.
Just stuff to seem that make it worse.
Right. Well, we're focused on our work. We're not focused on our posture.
Right.
What do I need to do to get the job done?
That's
your
it.
20s. And now 30s and is trying to figure out how do I actually work in a way that I can make it to 60.
Mm-hmm. That's where I'm at now.
Yeah, all that.
That's not normal?
Correct.
Okay. That's why it feels like
Like
that.
headache, tension, headaches. Yeah, it's sort of like a pool. I'm going to jump in and start stirring my feet on the bottom of the pool, and all this trash is going to come up, and now your pool's all cloudy.
Yeah.
And now I'm all sore. Right, because
No,
I went in
that's all right.
and stirred up all this
Locked
stuff that
up.
was locked up. You got it.
Sludged up on the bottom of the pool.
That's right. You didn't even
my
notice it because it was all
gosh.
distilled on the bottom. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw a few people on your channel that had the same kind of issue.
Mhm.
I'm like, that's my guy.
So common. So common. Yeah, I'm so sorry that you've been, cared for in a way that essentially symptomatically. They
Right.
focus on where the symptoms are, and they're not looking
Root cause.
root cause. Yeah.
Well, that's just it. I'm at the point, like, I eat pretty good. Yeah, I overwork my body, but I'm young and I'm, pretty healthy.
Right.
And it's
I
like, I
see.
shouldn't hurt this bad.
See, I ask the inverted question. I don't ask why do you have lower neck issues. I ask why do you not have, arthritis up here?
Mhm.
Why does everybody have arthritis in the lower neck? It's because that's the part that actually is doing most of the work. Nobody asks the inverted question. Why do you not have arthritis in your middle back?
Mhm.
Well, your middle back doesn't function.
Right.
Why are you not herniating your C2 disc?
Because it doesn't work.
Then move, right.
Yeah.
Why don't you have symptoms of a T5 disc herniation? Well, that area doesn't function. You're only herniating, you're only cracking the teeth that you're chewing on. My joke is...
That makes sense.
New study shows that football players that spend their whole season on the bench never get concussion.
Well, yeah.
Oh, no way! And you're so smart.
I had no clue that left was
Yeah.
that tight.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
It's your neck doesn't want to tilt left. You can see how much easier this side likes to move. There's not as much resistance. Feel the effortlessness with which your neck
Yeah, it just flips around.
it likes to go to the right. You'll see me not spend as much time over here. Eddie, you didn't massage my neck evenly. Correct.
Because it wasn't.
I don't need it. I'm not going to spend as much time over here.
It's balance.
I want to get the left unlocked before we start loosening the right anymore.
Right.
It's already too loose over here. I'll try to open this channel a little
Which
bit
is
here.
crazy what that feels like compared to the other side.
Yes, sir. Yep. This is the channel right here. That's the first rib. That rib's got to go down. That'll give you some more space right here. That rib's got to... Oh. It's a rib, Ed? Yes, this is the first rib.
That's crazy.
That's a rib right there. Bud. The Googleable thing, if people at home want to Google something, it's called thoracic outlet syndrome. Is the Googleable, that's kind of what they call this. But there's 3 components that pinch this funnel that the nerves, the brachial plexus of nerves that go down and go into your arm have to go through this funnel. It's like the movie 300, but the Spartans, this little channel that everybody's got to sift through.
Yeah.
And so the rib can come up, that closes down on the channel. The vertebrae in the neck go, essentially losing the curve in your neck makes the bones go posterior, which pinches the channel. And then the actual musculature and the soft tissue that the tissue is comprised of, it being inflammatory and acidic, irritates the nerves as they are actually sitting in that channel.
Chokes it down.
Correct. And so we're trying to open up the channel a little bit and then pressure wash it.
Yeah.
Clean the channel and make the hallway wider so the nerves have a little bit more, playroom to not run into a wall. Like the game was an Operation game. He was like,
Yeah.
these holes are too small. I can't get that bone through here. And at the end of the visit, we're going to aim your neck to here. We want to be aware that why earlier I had you look up, I wanted to see where your skin folded first. And it folded initially right in the lower neck. Where the skin folded also represents where the vertebrae are bending the most. And so I don't want to further request the lower neck to bend. I want the upper neck to do it. So we're going to be, when we're on the neck dental, we're going to place it up here to encourage your upper neck to be the primary mover, not further making the lower neck move. Let's try to open this up a little bit gentle. All right. Okay.
I could feel it in my left shoulder.
Yeah. Let's try to smooth this up a little bit more here. Come on. Chin up for me. Okay, a little bit. I'm greedy. All right, I'm done. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't have too much pec tightness. This is, the difficulty is that one of the compensations your body can do to open up that thoracic outlet that I talked about is it rolls the shoulders forward. And
I definitely feel that this shoulder is rolled forward.
Right, that's a compensation, okay? Now what happens is if you have your shoulders rolled forward for 10 years, you'll tear your rotator cuff, you'll tear a labrum, do you understand? And so you'll have a shoulder problem, but it's a result of a compensatory postural problem because you have a nerve disc injury in your neck.
Right.
It's like if a rope is held tight, it's easy to cut it, right? Or if I take a piece of fabric and I hold this tight and ask you to poke right there, you could make a hole easily.
Right.
But if I make it loose, you can't make a hole, right? So the posture of your shoulder creates the tension on the cables that then makes it so when you swing a golf club, you tear your rotator cuff. It's like, well, I shouldn't have played golf. Well, no, you should have played golf with the posture you're in that made tearing your rotator cuff easy.
Right.
Okay. But I don't have too much in here in the shoulder. There's not much going on here. But you will have.
Yeah, I have a lot of it in the forearm.
Yeah, you're getting false electrical activity. And what do you mean by that, Dr. Ed? I watch the show Cops, and people run from police officers, and they go taser, and and they fall over, right? And why do people's muscles listen to a taser gun, right? Why can't your muscles
overcome?
Well, not only that, but why can't they say, I don't think this electricity came from the brain.
Right.
I think it came from this gun the police officer shot. I'm not going to listen to it, right?
Right.
And the answer is because muscles are idiots. They don't ask the source of the electricity. If you hit a muscle with electricity, it's going to contract.
Right.
Okay. So when you're hitting a nerve in your lower neck, this muscle's receiving some level of electrical activity. You're not
even though no one's calling for it.
Correct. You got it. It's a false contraction that irritates the attachment. But just rubbing the muscle, it's a little silly if we don't get the neck calmed down. But that doesn't mean we can't help the arm. You can temporarily alleviate some symptoms by working on this. So it will work, but it needs to be secondary to addressing the neck problem. And so, Ed, you don't rub my arm anymore. You don't love me anymore. I told you that's the problem. And once that's fixed, you don't need to have your arm rubbed.
Right.
And then we just maintain your curve in your neck, and you're not going to have tennis elbow.
Right. My wife will be excited to hear that because she's been rubbing that arm for a long time.
Yeah.
Because that's the only temporary relief.
You can get temporary relief.
Get.
Correct.
That's it.
You can temporarily compress the attachment. No transfriction over this for her at home. Just compress. This is just panini, like Panera bread.
No, I feel it.
You want to compress that down.
Yeah.
The muscle, the extensor muscles here, don't massage them this way. You massage towards the attachment. You need oxygen to contract the muscle. You also need oxygen to relax the muscle. So when a muscle gets so tight for so long, even if I alleviate this, you do sometimes need to actually go into the muscle and oxygenate it so it can relax.
Right.
And so there is times for working on the actual tissue. And that's what you'll see sometimes is the mark. The mark is the evidence of that lactic acid, of that, there's a mark coming out right here.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of tension in that forearm for many years, so that's probably the tightest part that I feel is right past my wrist, right in
Correct.
there. That's where it feels like it's the most tension.
Somebody turned the idle screw up too high. You're idling at 3,000 RPMs, not 700.
Put a brick on the accelerator.
See, this is the tightest part of your back. The most misaligned part of your back is right here. And that's gonna.
Which is crazy because I have no pain there.
Well, right, because you
feel.
You don't feel the parts that don't work.
Right.
Until, well, give me a second.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Now I'm feeling it. Right. The part of your spine that's been on vacation doesn't complain. Not been tasked to do much. We have to unlock it, get it back on the team. Right there.
It's crazy. It's like rock hard.
Yeah. Yeah, Bob Seger's kind of come through the door any second now. Like a rock! Okay. The tightness of your upper back is, I don't know if I made up some percentage, 1/3 of the, 1/4 to 1/3 of the reason for why your lower neck is injured, right? This is the primary.
Right.
70% is caused by this.
Right.
But this also
Has a little
is,
in it.
right, you're not functioning below the lower neck, which also is overtaxing the lower neck because the upper neck's not working, but also the upper back. So you'll see me just keep working around the injured areas to redirect, to detour the traffic away from the pothole roads, get the stress off those areas so they can repair. Wow.
Yeah, it's tight. I never noticed it until you do that, and I can feel it goes from tissue feel to rock hard.
I'm sorry, nobody's. Right, nobody's worked on this, right?
Nobody, yeah.
Everybody's missed the...
Oh my gosh. Holy crap.
Yeah. I gotta break down these walls.
Yep.
Ice, you can get some ice, take a ice cube, about the size of a quarter, maybe $50, right on the lower neck, on the right side. So the best way to alleviate some of that disc symptom is to ice right here, not right to the side of the spine and the lower neck. That's where the nerve that travels down your arm comes from.
Okay.
That would be about 10 minutes with an ice cube. An ice pack won't go deep enough, so or a bag of peas won't do it.
Right.
I've been doing a bag of peas, Ed. I never said a bag of peas. I told you an ice cube.
Ice cube.
Holding with a paper towel, and you massage. Keep the ice cube moving. You won't frost.
Right in there.
Right in that lower neck, just to the side of the spinous. So here's lower neck, just right.
Okay.
Correct. Right to the side of that spinous on the right side. Don't sleep on your right side.
I try to sleep on my back. Is that
Okay, good,
worse?
good. That's better. No, that's good.
No
Just
pillow.
main thing is just, well, we have to start getting used to a pillow. The no pillow is a compensation.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
It allows you to flatten your neck out, which opens up the foramen. So I understand why you like to have no pillow, but that isn't going to be
Helpful.
a long-term.
Okay.
It's not going to work. You're not going to make it past 50. We have to have support, but I understand why you don't want it. But we need to.
Yeah, I try to fall asleep with a pillow, but I always wake up. Always wake up where I've kicked it.
By unlocking the surrounding areas, when we have support in your neck, it won't be bending too much in your lower neck. So it's my job to make sure that when you have some degree of support, that this isn't the only area that's bending.
Right.
Your spine likes to bend in the loosest area, and that's why I have a job. We change the pattern, we reorder the firing order of the pistons. You're in cylinder deactivation mode.
Yeah.
Half your engine isn't actually working.
I'm not no eco mode.
Right. Foramen means hole. It's an intervertebral, in between the vertebrae, hole. Everything sounds so much stupider if you say it in English. The in-between vertebrae hole is narrow. So we say stenosis of the intervertebral foramen is the Latin way of saying. Stenosis means narrowing. We hide behind Latin. I have stenosis. Ooh. What my dad would teach is that we have to learn through a course of treatment here. I'm going to teach you how to have a conversation with your middle back every day.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like brushing your teeth. You can't just ignore your teeth and expect them to make it.
Right. Wow, a lot of crunchiness.
Yeah. Like I said, there's injuries.
Oh, yeah.
This is the upper thoracic area there here that's frozen. And this is a percentage of why your lower neck is so injured.
Holy smokes. That's deep. It's just where I felt the pain for a long time, and it's like touching it with a needle. It's like right there.
We're going to get to a place where all of this is easy. There should be no pain in here. There is no normal
Oh,
soreness.
there is no.
Yeah.
There's all pain.
Yeah. The joint actually refers pain in here. So this is we call it the sclerotome of the joint. The actual joint will give pain in between your scapula.
Oh my gosh.
So the joint that's inflamed will give pain in here, and the neuritis down the arm. Those are both concomitant. Both kind of happen at the same time.
Wow. Feels like I've been doing that recently, just put my arm behind my back, and now it's a little less painful, but it's definitely different than the left side.
Right there. Yeah, total lockdown here. Not nobody in or out. No functionality.
Yeah, when you first did the adjustment to see what was moving, I've never felt how locked up it was until then.
Wow. Yeah, right here. Wow. If the tissue's moving, it'll clean itself also. So your need for me will go down
Right.
as we get your
That
posture
makes
fixed,
sense.
as your spinal health improves. This is the sacroiliac joint right here. Most powerful joint in your body, largest joint in your body. Right there. That's the purpose of that side posture.
Oh my gosh. Holy smokes. I'm trying not to hold
It's okay.
Yeah.
But you get the idea, if this joint liked to move, it wouldn't mind you pushing on it, right?
Right.
It's like I'm asking you to bend your fingers, and the fingers don't want to bend. This joint is... So we're trying to loosen this joint without moving this joint.
Right.
We're trying to loosen... And the difficulty is that when you're getting up and down, you don't get to decide which vertebrae move. The loosest vertebrae move first, the stiffest vertebrae move last.
Right, makes sense.
It's a volunteer system, and so we're trying to... I need this joint waking up first. He needs to get up at 2 a.m. This guy can sleep, the lower back can sleep in until noon. You know.
now. Like, oh my god.
What is this guy?
Holy crap. That's crazy. Oh. I'm trying not to hold it from walking up. It is. Oh my gosh. I didn't even know that was there.
Doesn't move.
No, I'm trying not to do anything. It's just naturally just walking up.
That joint doesn't move. That's why you don't notice it.
Holy mackerel.
Wow.
Right. You know, it's all inflammation
Right.
from the lack of mobility, that lack of functionality. We have to get that unlocked. I'll show you how to keep it unlocked with different rollers and dentalls.
I had no clue that my right hip was that locked up.
Yeah.
And that's why that makes sense as to why my left side
Yes, correct.
sciatica feels like it
Right.
does.
You got it. There you go. Okay. Come on, relax. Breathe, breathe. I got you. It's okay. Come on. Bones that haven't moved in a long
Yeah.
time. Gotta get these guys working. Okay, keep that like that. Perfect. I got you, bud. Breathe. Get the idea?
Whoa.
Right?
Whoa.
Jammed up in here.
Jammed up.
Yeah.
We got one.
Yeah. Arms down. I'm just greedy. That's me. There, that was him. It's just millimeter by millimeter unlocking you.
Yeah, no, I've always felt like I was a tough crack, but now that you're hitting all the spots where I can see that are completely locked up, I see why.
Yeah. Yeah, right there.
They say like it's brighter, like I don't know how to describe it, but like the
Waking up your nervous
tension,
system.
yeah, the tension off my head is it's incredible. I can feel it. It's like right at the end of it. Oh my gosh. That's why I can feel it. Oh wow.
Dinosaur bone. You're on your toes way too much. What happens is when we're on our toes, these toes get jammed.
Yeah.
It shouldn't require this much. Wow. Okay. There we go. Okay. There, gee.
Yeah.
Just
Tight hands.
everything's all
Yeah.
jammed together. Okay. How are we doing in here? This is with the trigger finger. People, you know.
Right.
It's gonna
So
be-
if I do that on this hand,
Do they get
painful.
stuck?
Well,
They
it
get
doesn't get stuck, but I could just feel.
when you open it up, it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
And
This
then, like right there after your wrist coming in, right in
Uh-huh.
here, that's where I feel the most tension on his hand.
just these are maintenance things the rest of your
Right.
life. You just, to me, 5-10 seconds, you just kind of make sure these guys are getting a little Tin Man
Right.
oil. I don't like, it's a little crunchy in there.
Yeah, no, I can feel that.
There shouldn't be any. This is a zip tie called an aponeurosis that holds all these tendons in a sheath. The medical world will just cut the zip tie. That's the medical solution for trigger finger, is to open
Just-
you up
right.
and cut the
Tension out of it.
the connective tissue that holds the cables in a sheath. All right, go ahead and tilt your head to the right for me. Tilt right. Go ahead and tilt your head right. Tilt right. Okay, almost. Tilt right. Removed. Quiet ones. And then go and tilt.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Tilt to the right and left. And a little bit. All right, come over here. When, I didn't show you very well on that model, but when you bend forward, that hole the nerve goes through gets larger when your neck is
Mhm.
forward or your chin is down. This is why you like to lay on your back with
Right.
no curve, because it allows you to open up those holes because you got a disc bulging in
Right.
and the nerve is in that hole trying to get away.
Right.
When we go into extension, the hole gets smaller. And so, well, Dr. Red, didn't sound like a very good idea to bring my head back because that's going to make the hole smaller. I'm not going to run to the nerve. Well, we're going to do it not with weight. We're not going to do it seated. We're going to do it laying down. So there's no gravity on your spine. We're not going to go into extension with gravity. We're going to start by being on your back, going into extension, and we're going to make most of the extension not happen where the injury is in the first place.
Right.
But we need to, and I tried to show you that model, the front part is so squeezed. That's what's making the disc go out of place. We have to depressurize the front part with the understanding that when we decompress the front, it does make the holes in the back smaller. So this is where we have a little bit of a Nick Walinda tightrope walk where I have to see how far I can take you back without you getting mad at me. Do you understand?
Right.
And then we have to back off a little bit, and then that wall will move as we progress through the weeks and months of
Right.
care, where what we can't do today, we will be able to do a month from now. So I'm going to see how you do. Head back for me. Here we go. So this is an emulation of my thumb. This is designed
Right.
to mimic my thumb and hold your neck in that curved posture. We have it placed as high as I can in your upper neck, but there's a lot of stiffness in your upper neck where your head doesn't really want to bend over. It's like I'm putting you on it, but the neck doesn't want to curve around it.
Right.
To assist in this, what you're going to do is you'll take your hand and you'll press.
Oh, wow.
Get the idea?
Yeah,
And
no,
see
I
if you,
can feel the difference.
and then you'll try to put your head back
Yeah.
and see if it'll stay there, and then put your hand back down. Get the idea?
Yeah.
Now, it's not, your neck is going to want to go right back out,
Right.
and the more you do it, the more your neck will comply and stay curved.
Right.
If anything happens in the lower neck or down the arm, you got to let me know or we got to stop. If your hand starts going numb, I understand if it's already tingly or numb when you get
Right.
on it, that's
Right.
different, but if it isn't numb when you get on it and it starts going numb, got to get off.
Right.
And we have to talk.
Right.
And what that means is that when we're putting you into extension, too much bending is happening at the bottom where I don't want it to happen.
Okay.
Which means we need another hour on the table of me beating up your upper neck to make that area do the bending so that when you're doing this at home, the upper neck is doing most of the folding.
Right. I tell you, just from opening it up, what
Mhm.
we've done,
Mhm.
I can feel a difference.
Yeah. Easy, easy. I got you. Okay. I'll put it right over that knot right there. Okay. Easy. Okay. Okay. Bend the knees. Yep. Feet flat. There we go. Put arms to the side. All right. Get the idea of what I want.
Yeah, that doesn't move.
Well, we have to. You don't receive any of the things you don't ask for.
Right.
I'm going to keep asking whether or not it gives it to me or not. We have to start asking. You understand this part of your back to function.
Right. It's just crazy. I've never noticed how tight.
And
that
this
part
is the only way we're going to take the stress off this.
Right.
We have to start having a conversation. I'm giving you a preview today of where this, with no book behind your head, actually a larger version than this,
Oh my gosh.
is where we need to be. And that's what we call subluxation. That's the disparity between where you are and where I want you to be.
Oh my god.
Just try feet together, knees together. Rotate your knees to either side. Yep, breathe, slow, stretch. Yep, come on. Go to the other side. Come on. You're not gonna hurt it, it's gonna feel weird. You gotta start working this.
Oh my gosh.
Knees are right, come on, breathe, exhale, come on. You can do it, come on. There you go.
Oh man.
Yeah, get the idea.
Oh.
Ooh, it's definitely moving something that hasn't moved in a
Hurting
long
in here,
time.
hurting in
Yeah.
here. Good, thumbs up. If it hurts in the lower back, you gotta stop.
No,
right?
it's just on the middle
If
and
it's-
the far outside of either
Get
side.
the idea? Thumbs up. You gotta break loose the adhesions and glue in there. Your back wants to be flat to the floor.
Yeah.
Right? And that, again, it takes the weight off the joint. Half the spine has feeling. That's what
Right.
makes this whole conversation, it's what makes all spinal health confusing, because I can't trust how you feel, because
Mhm.
only half of your spinal column has actually any neurological hookup.
Right.
Therefore, therapy can be done to move all the weight and stress onto the non-sensitive areas, and thereby you think it's a good treatment, right?
Right.
You've moved all the weight onto the non-sensitive parts, damaging them further, but I
Right.
can't feel them, so thank you, doc.
Yep.
Right? And that kind of treatment's happening in many areas where I go, you're not helping people, you're further kicking the can down the road, and the problem is growing. It gets so bad to a surgical level, and then we all go, you're just one diseased human being.
Right.
It's like, no, you fed this, you're culpable in this, you didn't aim my spine back to the ellipse,
Right.
you didn't show me that my middle back was locked, you didn't show me that I can't, this should be a joke. I'm trying to show you where we're going, okay?
Yeah.
This is the journey we're gonna take, and we'll get you there.
Yeah, that's why I kind of gave up on chiropractic, because, you know, it would give me, like you say, a little sense of relief, or maybe, you know, push it to where I didn't feel it on another part, but it never went away. It came right back the next day, if not later that day.
Right.
Got into massage. Massage helped get some of that broken up and loosened, but it still wasn't fixing the root cause, so I could feel it always come back.
Yeah, the only way to get it to hold is by stretching.
Right.
The ligaments, and it's actually the ligaments on the front, well, you'll actually start to feel as the back comes together,
Mm-hmm.
the front it'll become the actual bottleneck. This fabric has never stretched.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of what I did when I lifted you up.
Yeah.
You felt it go. I've never felt that, because things on the front are actually
Holding everything.
holding you rounded forward.
Right.
This fabric is all torn up and stretched out, and this is all rolled up.
Yeah.
And so we'll, as the inflammation in the joints calms down, the joints in the back come together, this will actually, Ed, I'm doing the stretch, and I'm feeling it like it's sore on my chest now.
That's good.
Because that's where the bottleneck really is. Yeah.
Yeah.
New world.
No,
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
my head feels about 10 pounds lighter.
Isn't that cool? Glad you came in, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Hey, guys.
Thank you very
Very
much.
good. You're good.
So I needed that.
Yeah.